Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Moneyline Madman specialty NFL show with our man, Bill Krackomberger. Bill, how you been?
Hey, guys, how we doing? What happened? A couple of guys didn't 7 out, did they? There was a couple other guys on the show last time I was on with you guys.
Oh, that was horse racing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a horse racing show. Well, we know you love the takeout. That's your favorite part about horse racing, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. Good.
Now, those other guys, they just talk horses with us. You know, I'm feeling a little Billy Joel tonight, right? It's Friday night. We're just hanging around.
Oh, nice.
That should be up in your neighborhood there, right? He's from around where you were, your way.
Well, yeah, he's Long Island. I'm originally the Bronx, but yeah, I grew up with Billy Joel. I mean, God, who doesn't like Billy Joel? You know,
Christy Brinkley.
Yeah. Oh, she looks great still. She's like 60-some
yes.
years old. Ridiculous.
I know. I'm like 7-8 years younger than she is, and I look about 20 years older, right, Sean? You too, man.
Where are you guys at, Sean? Rich, where are you guys at? What part of the country?
I'm basically Reading, PA.
All right.
And I'm in Chirac. We're dodging bullets where I'm in Chicago, man. It's a lot of mayhem around here lately. If you've been paying attention to the news, Chicago is.
But both of you guys have big sports betting areas now. Pennsylvania sports betting, Chicago. I mean, I'm a spokesman for PointsBet. We're over there in Hawthorne. Yeah, you guys are really listen. People don't realize that. And I'll even say Pennsylvania too, especially like Pittsburgh. There's a lot of areas of Pennsylvania, Philly, Pittsburgh. These are hardcore gambling areas. Chicago, forget it. I think sports betting is going to be giant there once it really grasps. It's going to be really big. Illinois is a real big state for Indiana too. There's so much gambling. The Midwest is amazing. So I think that as long as it's done responsibly, it's going to make a lot of money for everybody. And I'm hoping that some of the players can, listen to us a little bit and try to get a little bit more accustomed or in tune to what 11-10 is, what it should be. Make sure your books aren't robbing you. When New Jersey first opened, the first opening was like Monmouth Park in the Meadowlands. They were charging $1.14 at the Meadowlands on both sides, which was FanDuel. Yeah, so they're back to a regular $1.10 both ways, thank God. The money lines alone on these books are ridiculous. They charge you. They're a European way. They don't do things like we're used to here in Nevada or even the offshore world, where you minus $1.40 comes back $1.20. No, they want to go minus $1.46, come back $1.14. It's ridiculous. So anyway, sorry.
That's my favorite when you get two really bad teams and they're both negative lines, right, Sean?
Yeah.
I absolutely hate that. It's like, okay, look, I don't want the Pirates and I don't want the Twins, but why are they both minus 110? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, they should be minus 105 also. Minus 105 both sides. You should look for 10-cent baseball on the low lines. It breaks around 170. Which it goes to 15 or even 20 cents. But I'm an old school guy. I've been betting sports for 50 years. Literally baseball, I'm betting since I'm 4 years old. So 48 years. It should be minus $1.30, come back $1.20. If you're betting an NFL game, okay, minus 110 on both sides. I understand that. But baseball should be a true 10-cent line, or else I really don't want to play it.
Yeah, I agree. Baseball is a little bit, and it's just insane. Baseball. Sean will tell you, my new strategy is play whatever team I like, play them to the ninth inning, cash out, and then head to the other side quick, because that closer. Sean jokes all the time that I should warm up because the ninth inning just kills me. I don't know why it is, but it does.
Oh wow!
I need Manny Rivera to be on every team. That's for sure. But unfortunately, he's retired. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit of NFL football for week number 5. There's, I think there's enough games in the back now that we have a sense of who these teams are, what they're capable of, what they're not capable of, and perhaps give us a little bit of maybe some insights on what we can expect from all squads. So the first game up on the board is the Jets in Atlanta. I mean, this is a great game. But, I mean, who would have thought the Jets were going to beat Tennessee last week?
Yeah, no, the Jets actually there was a lot of the sports books that had will the Jets go 0-17. So that's obviously not going to happen now, and the Jets actually proved that they can win a game and hang around a little bit. So this game probably should fall right there. 3 is a good line, 2.5, 3. If the Jets were home, they'd probably be given 1.5. Atlanta's home, they're giving 2.5 or 3. You got some square sports books on there. Let's see. I see Bovada, who's scared to death to take a bet off anyone with a pulse. Bet online. Yeah, there's some 2.5s there. Yeah, so that's.
Yeah, it's about the best thing we can find as a sports book review in terms of it allows us to shop different lines across the board. And we got the shop lines idea basically from you both on the show Action and when you joined us on the horse racing show. So Sean's a big Jets fan. I feel bad for him, but the Jets, Sean, you got any love for the Jets or Atlanta here?
I like the Jets to repeat here. I didn't even think they were going to beat Tennessee last week, even with the receivers out. But they finally started clicking a little bit, and C.J. Mosley's been playing out of his mind. And I think their defense will give Atlanta problems. I mean, Jets will be physical enough. Atlanta's not looked all that great this year. I think as long as Wilson plays well again, I think the Jets win this game.
So are you going to actually do something with it or not?
Yeah, I'll take the Jets. Money line.
We're going to take the Jets money line, of course. You always got to have something for me that I have nothing prepared for.
And I am not a biased Jets fan. I have been against the Jets. I have been against the Jets so far this year and made some money. And I hate doing that, but you got to do what you got to do.
What do you think, Bush?
The Jets here, I'm going to pull this up. Jets. Where were they? Yeah. The Jets last week or the week? No, last week. Last week, the Jets really were the value. Let me just see. Yeah. On last week's parlay cards, I was in Atlantic City, and man, they were the value on the parlay cards. They were 7.5, and the sharper sports books. I follow the sharper sports books. The sharper sports books had 5 on that game. Pretty solid 5 last week on that game, and the Jets proved that they shouldn't have been 7.5 point dogs, which they were on the parlay cards. So was the late game. Is that the Patriots? The Patriots were also same thing. The Patriots were 7.5 too. So you got a couple games that those parlay cards sometimes can offer some value, and the Jets was the value last week on the parlay cards. So to key some other teams, here's a perfect example. That 7.5, Pinnacle had 6 on the Patriot game at game time. They were begging. It was all 6.5s. On this kind of a screen, Pinnacle begging you for Tampa Bay bets. So just some market capping there would get you the money. If you parlay those two with someone else, maybe like Arizona last week plus 4.5, which went down to 3.5, or one of the other teams. A lot of those parlay cards, they come out Wednesday night. They're printed Wednesdays, and the games go Sunday. So there's some time in between to iron out the lines for the sharp guys and get a truer line of what it should be. The truest line, by the way, is an hour before post time. So that last hour of trading, the traders at risk, they see where they are. I'm not going to say they're trying to even off their buck because that's impossible. We all know that. They're going to have a side in every game. But if it's too much risk on one side, that's when you'll find some low-hanging fruit sometimes on an underdog like the New York Jets from time to time, especially the square books out here like Stations or Coast or even a William Hill, which is nationwide. You could find some low-hanging fruit there last hour of a Sunday. So,
quick question for you. You had mentioned that Vegas is always on the side. So I come from the financial markets, and I equate it to making a market in stocks. If people are selling, then you're a buyer as a market maker. If people are buying, you're a seller. So you're on one side of the market too. Vegas has to know. I mean, they know they're going to be on one side or the other. Do you think they know what side they're going to be on in advance and that the early lines reflect that?
Ideally, if I am a line maker, besides, let's not use Circa because Circa is running a different type of book right now. They're running an old school joint. But ideally, if I know my clientele, so if I'm a Stations Casinos, which is Red Rock, Palace Station, Boulder Station, really a square clientele that bets parlay cards, comes in, bets their favorites, bets their overs, bet 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 18 parlays for $5. You know your crowd. So you put up a line based on your crowd. It's the reason why station throws winning people out like myself. I'm not allowed to bet on the app. They threw me off because I'm a winning player. I'm going to come in and take the other side of that game. So ideally, if you're a bookmaker, though, you'll want to have the underdogs in the NFL. You're getting 11 to 10. You're going to want to have those. And now also you're going to get an extra half a point because guess what? Your clients are still going to bet the Tampa Bay's minus 6.5 when, the rest of the world may be 6. They're still going to bet the marquee teams. Marquee teams are still Dallas Cowboys, maybe the Rams now a little bit. They're going to bet the marquee teams, of course, Kansas City. Ideally, you want to have the side against those marquee teams. You're going to get an extra half a point. You're getting 11 to 10, and they're posting the money with you. Well, what a simple business model, right? You would think it would be, but not for some of these geniuses.
Well, and Sean, he's on the marquee team to start us off this week, the Jets. So the best line you could get on the Jets, Sean, is $1.25 on that money line. I have that game as I think that line, like Bill said, is spot on. It's to me 2.5. It's going to be a field goal game either way, so I can't take a side on that. And now on the total in that game, Sean, are you going to take a shot at that? It's 45.5.
No, that's set pretty good. I could see it going either way.
Yeah, I can't. I have them scoring.
It opened at 44. By the way, this line opened Atlanta minus 3.5 and 44. It's Pinnacle has got 3 dog 18 and 45. And I would not recommend taking the money line on either side of that. Well, I should say either side. On the Jet side of that game, I always want the 3 points if I can get the 3 rather than take $1.25. I mean, that's a no-brainer. So the 3 is the number that comes out the most.
That's what I tell them all the time.
So my
motto
is if it's 3 or less, I'm taking the money line. If it would be 3.5, I would take the Jets, just with the points.
Yeah, I hate to tell you
that's wrong.
If it's 2.5, yeah, but absolutely I agree on 2.5. Not if it's on 3. 3. If you can get a 3, especially if 3 minus 110. I'm not taking a money line of plus. Well, I just seen those money lines like plus 1.25. I'm taking the 3 points. That's for sure. But I understand 2.5 and lower. Very good. Most people don't understand that. So to your point there, Sean, good.
I think this game's actually going to go under. I have them coming in at 38 points. That's a touchdown less than the 45.5 that they're on, Sean. So I'm going to take the Jets, Atlanta under at minus 108 for 45.5. The next game on the board is the Battle of Florida between the Miami Dolphins, who have no offense now. I don't know that Tua would have been much better than Jacoby Brissett either.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I think the 6 rookie quarterbacks or 6 quarterbacks that weren't day one starters starting this week. And by the way, in these type of bets, and you don't mind me, I have ADD, Rich. I don't mean to interrupt you.
That's cool.
Just why it's on the top of my brain. With those 6 quarterbacks and the unders have really done really well. I know with the rookie quarterbacks, they're like 13-2 to the unders. I think the coaches are being a little more conservative and stuff. I don't know if that trend's going to continue. It's just something when I seen the Miami game thinking about Brissett starting. That's all. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, 10 points in the Battle of Florida. I think that based upon the way I do the power rankings and the models and projected win totals and then all that kind of good stuff, I think Tampa Bay wins this game. I don't think that's any big of a shock, but I think there's probably a better than 50-50 chance that the Dolphins actually cover that 10, but it's not a big enough margin for me. I have a margin of error that I'm looking for in my models, and if I don't get it, I don't play it. I don't get it here, but if I were going to play something, I would take the Dolphins into 10. Bill, am I crazy for that or no?
No, definitely not. It opened up 10.5. Double-digit favorites have done very well this year in the NFL, but we're only in, that's only for 4 weeks. So, again, I don't know if you guys realize this or know this. I'm a prop guy. I'm a total guy. I don't do a lot of NFL sides because I really don't know many people that can beat NFL sides. It's the hardest thing to beat in all of sports betting. NFL sides, any given Sunday, it's an old thing. I know it is an old adage. It still stands up, though. Any given Sunday, anything will and can happen. Can and will happen. So, as we seen last week with the 2 New York teams winning outright, as they beat. I mean, the Saints, who looked good up until then, lost outright to the Giants. I mean, Tennessee also loses to the Jets. So, I don't do a lot of side betting. But if I was now, I do because I'm in the circuit contest out here in Vegas. I'm in the Westgate contest out in Vegas. I haven't got my picks in yet. I try to do them last day. Try to do them on Saturdays. But I would probably lean Miami there in my circle pool or my Westgate pool, providing it is 10.5. If I can get that hook too, that's important.
Yeah, that's important too. Sean, what about you?
I'm going to stay away from this game. I mean, I would probably lean Tampa, but the problem is, too, Brady and Tampa going off that emotional game against New England, too. So they could definitely lay an egg here. So it's a pass for me.
I don't really buy that there's that big. These guys are pros, and if they're that emotional, then maybe they shouldn't be pros.
It happens all the time, though, where you get to big scenarios like that, and then they come back and lay an egg the following week. So I would just be skeptical on that. That would be the only reason Tampa won't cover this week.
The total's 48. I got them coming in at 50. Again, not enough for me to take a side. Bill, do you think they can go over the total, under the total here? What do you think?
No opinion on that one. I do have opinion on a couple. On a couple games, I have a couple under opinions. That's not one of them. I know, especially the primetime games. These games were all being lined. They were so high the first few weeks, and they were going over through the first 3 weeks. I think where they were like 7-2 on there, 8-1 maybe on the overs. And I knew it returned to the mean a little bit, just didn't know how fast. I have no real opinion on this one at all.
Yeah, nor do I. So we'll pass. Philadelphia, Carolina. Any opinion on that game, Sean?
Yeah, I like Carolina giving up 3. I think the Eagles are way overvalued constantly. I mean, I talked about when Dallas was only giving up 3 to them. This is saying that on a neutral field, the Eagles are just as good as Carolina. I don't believe that for a second. So I will take Carolina giving up 3. And
do you think that that's a fair bet too, Bill?
If I had to lean somewhere in this game, I absolutely agree. I think the Eagles are terrible. That game versus Dallas showed me a lot. I mean, terrible is a strong word. They did show a little bit of heart versus Kansas City. Seemed like they were coming back and forth. It hurts. It looks like it could have been a closer game, and the Eagles could have covered that game. But if I was to lean anywhere, I'd probably lean Carolina here. I was in that stadium last week. I went to see the Rolling Stones last week.
Oh, so nice.
I went to see the Stones there in Charlotte. It was really cool. And I sat right in the owner's box. So it was really cool. They got a big fan support down there. I'm really
the Rolling Stones?
No, I'm referring to the Carolina, the Panthers, man. And the Stones too, of course. The show was sold out. There's a couple of guys that are even older than you there, Rich. See?
Yeah, I'm wondering how Keith Richards is still alive. And I know
he didn't move a lot that show. I seen him 24 times. He did not move. That show he came out center stage, and Keith usually goes up each ramp. He goes down the center. He didn't move. He stayed right there. So
yeah, I mean, Charlie Watts is gone. I don't need a second Stone to go anytime too soon. Yeah. So that was I've seen him I'd say about 15 times myself.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The big Rolling Stones fan for sure.
No real opinion on this game though. I'm not leaning to either side or a total, but it's a solid 3. So look at that line. Jesus, solid 3.
For me, I think the game goes slightly under, and I think that the Carolina Panthers slightly cover. So I'm not enough for me to take a side on either side. Sean and I joke about some games, but you got Tennessee and Jacksonville. I think anytime you're looking at Jacksonville, that's almost the 1-800 I need help game. With the Urban Meyer situation, I found that teams either respond hugely in a positive way or very negatively. So I think one way or the other, this game is going to be decided by a lot of points. Jacksonville is either going to way overplay or way underplay. Have you seen that play out too, Bill, when these kind of situations are in the locker room?
Oh, look at the opening line. The opening line here, Tennessee -3.5 went to 4. There's even a couple. Let me see. There's 4.5 really almost everywhere.
Yeah, 4.5.
4 -15. I think that's probably just a little bit of a reaction, maybe, to what happened, but not really positive about that, though. I do see some money here on the favorite, but never know. Excuse me, guys.
Yeah, the 4.5 almost seems like a suspiciously low number to me, Sean. And it's almost like Vegas is tempting you to take the Titans. Whenever I feel like they're tempting me, like they're slithering around with the apple in their hand, saying, "Hey, Rich, come take a bite of this Tennessee apple." No, thank you. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, I'm going to skip it. Tennessee had problems with the Jets. The health of the receivers are going to be really important here too. So I'm gonna skip this.
You're going to skip it. So this game, Tennessee and Jacksonville, the total here is 48.5. It's actually coming down. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game because I don't think Tennessee can play defense. Meg, they just gave up 27 points. I think they only intercepted Zach Wilson once, so they got to feel bad just about that. So I'm actually going to go over in this game because I have them going considerably over into the 50s. So, Sean, you can mark me down for over in the Tennessee-Jacksonville game.
Okay.
Detroit in Minnesota is another game I think will have a lot of offense, although I was expecting offense last week between Cleveland and Minnesota and didn't get any. So I feel like there'll be a bounce back here. And I'm actually going to go the over in this spot too. It's 49.5. I'm going to do that at 108. Sean, you think it might go over?
It might, but I really like Detroit plus 10 here. Minnesota hasn't earned their respect to give up 10 points here. And Detroit, up till last week, had been really fighting hard and been playing all right. I mean, last week they even had their shots. They just kept screwing up when they got down to the red zone. So Minnesota is one of those teams I would never trust giving up 10 points. So I really like Detroit here plus 10.
Bill?
It's a contest pick here. I agree. I absolutely agree with Sean. I think that get the points here on the contest. I'm not betting the game. Again, the NFL side is too tough for anyone to bet, I feel. I would lean towards Detroit to keep this a closer contest. It's an old division rival, and this should be a tighter game than what it looks like here, I think. But listen, the final score could be 40-0 too. I mean, so you just never know with this NFL.
I would not. I know this is one of the highest totals of the weekend. I would not take Minnesota as your suicide pick. Whoever would think that, don't do it.
They opened up 8.5, and they moved 2 points. This is there is a little bit of public money here, and maybe even some wise guy money on Minnesota. But this would be an interesting week.
What do you think about the total? You think it's too high? Just about right? I guess I think it's going to go considerably over.
It's exactly where it was. Exactly where it opened at. These two teams historically have put up some points together. So when they play each other, so this could be it could be an over. But I'm again not betting this one. We're getting to the one game I am going to give out though. We're getting
all right. Well, on the Lions Vikings, you mentioned the wise guys. Actually, the Lions, from what I have view of, are taking a little more than 50% of the tickets. But the Vikings are taking in about, or people are committing about 70% of the money towards the Vikings. So a lot more money on the Vikings, bigger tickets, bigger bets on the Vikings than on the Lions, which tells me the so-called sharp, smart money is backing Minnesota, Sean, here. They're not afraid of laying 10 in it. And it's also the Lions moving in that direction, so it doesn't scare me. I hate when the money is on a team and the line is moving against them. That freaks me out, and I always wonder why that is. All right, so Denver and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a mess. Big Ben, everybody wants him to be benched except Big Ben. Sean, any play here?
No, this is a complete toss-up. I would, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but 39.5, that's too low too, so I'm just skipping this one.
I agree. 39.5 is too low. Is this your play for the week, Bill?
No, nope. No, it's not. And this game opened up exactly around where it is. Maybe Denver got a little bit of money here. It opened up Pick'em. I'm looking at some of the lines. Now it's 1. There is a 1.5. Okay, so there is some. Let me see what you guys got up there. 1.5. Yeah, there is 1.5. Yes, there is. So Bovada, but there's one of the square books putting a little bit extra juice on it. Yeah, Denver is more of America's team right now than Pittsburgh is. That's for sure. America's darling. People are really high on Denver, myself included. So if anything, I would probably lean to Denver here, but no bets on anything. Side total. The total looks low. It does look low, but I'm not messing with it either.
Yeah, I think since they changed the rules out in Colorado, most people are high on Denver. Green Bay and Cincinnati. Who's the better quarterback, Sean?
It's Aaron Rodgers, but hey,
Burrow you on Aaron Rodgers? No way.
No, but Burrow maybe he'll be better by the end of it. Might have more championships. Who knows?
Well, I mean, he only has to have 2.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think about the game itself?
I like Cincinnati here. I know Green Bay's kind of turning around, but they really haven't played too much. Cincinnati's looked good. Cincinnati at home here. I'll take the money line.
You're going to take the money line again?
Yeah.
Cincinnati money line. You're going to get plus 135. You think that's a little bit more square for him? Bill?
So much for me being on this show, and and telling Sean about not taking the money line when the line's 3, huh?
Well, it's 2.5.
Oh, okay.
At least I see 2.5.
Yeah, I got Don.
Let's see. The line is
I got Don
2
Best up. I got
3.
1, 2,
2.5,
3,
3.
4.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have 4 sports books on Don Best, including Pinnacle, who I always respect. +3, -14. But anyway, okay. If your bookmaker has 2.5, then I could see you going the money line. So again, this if you look at the look ahead line early in the season, would you say that this line would only be 3 or 2.5?
No.
This looks fishy. I may have to lean to what Sean is saying there. So kind of interesting.
I think the line is pretty much spot on. I expect Pittsburgh to rebound. They're not that bad. I think that Denver offense is very limited. The Pittsburgh defense is the one thing that they do have.
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, Cincinnati. Never mind. I'm on the wrong game. No wonder.
No, that's all right.
Which was
We did Denver, Pittsburgh already.
Oh, never mind. Then Green Bay, Cincinnati. I'm the Green Bay, Cincinnati.
No problem.
I'm old, man. I have old timers. Give me a break, guys. Come on.
No. We're talking about Keith Richards, the Rolling Stones. I understand. So that can happen.
Yes. Maybe I lived a little too much like Keith Richards in my youth, and now my brain is not there anymore. All right. So Green Bay, Cincinnati on that particular game. Let's see. I can't even find it. So forget about it for me. All right. New England and Houston. Yes, let's move on to Houston. John?
New England's gonna win this game. They might cover, but I'm staying away from it. 8 points on the road here. I'm gonna stay away.
Yeah, I feel like Belichick is going to be, if they get up, they'll play cautious with Matt Jones. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, as much as I'm picking on Sean for his not taking the 3 points when it's a money line, I'm agreeing with him on a lot of the sides, though. I'm agreeing with him if I'm forced to take a side. I'm not laying no 9 points or 8, 9 points on the road. I'm looking at some of these lines you guys got here. I'm just not laying that. I'm not a guy that's laying points in the NFL anyway. I like to take those last second points. So those when the books get a little bit juicy there. But again, no side, no dog in this battle. And I don't know if I believe those percentages you guys have up there. Not that you took it off a site. Houston, 84% of the money, New England, 16%. I don't know if there's a bookmaker out there that puts those real numbers out there, to be honest with you. Do they really want the public knowing what side and what they're booking at their book? I don't know about that.
I would say probably not. I think the total on this game is 39.5, I think. And I think the game goes slightly over, but not by a whole lot. Not enough for me to make a play. Though 39 in an NFL game, it seems to me kind of low at times.
I would think this is one, too. You either like New England to score some points, I would go over there, or go under the Houston total. Because you're going to get the points from New England, not Houston.
Cool. The Bears. Oh, and I was going to say, too, you're talking about taking the points. I mean, the side of the road is littered with folks who play road dogs. So I'm not interested in doing that very often. I'd rather take the road team with points. The Bears are going to Las Vegas. So that's a road team getting 5.5 points. They're going to come out to the desert by you. What do you think about that game? Have you been to a Raiders game yet or no?
I was at the home game. I was at the opening home game in one of the suites. It was really a fun night. I'm not real big on going. I'm going to sound like a spoiled child here. I have opportunity to go to every game for free, and I really don't want. I have no interest in going though. I went because my buddy was here, and we have this suite that I get 2 tickets a week to, and I'm not going this week. I have no real interest in going there, and it's right in the middle of the day. There could be some live betting opportunities, some other things I do, and a lot of research goes in. I'm not just on shows all day. There is research that goes into this stuff. So proposition bets and stuff was what I'm talking about for Sunday. So, not going to the game. It was a great experience. It's nice to have a hometown team. I guess you guys all know, anyone out there, you guys know that my allegiance is my bankroll. I don't care nothing about the team, the players. They mean nothing to me. Sorry, it is what it is. So there's no one. But I was rooting with the Raiders. Listen, I went to Las Vegas Golden Knights playoffs when they played Washington. I was a Stanley Cup actually. Mm-hmm. I bet my money on Washington because that was the value. Because everyone here is betting on the Raiders on the Las Vegas team, the Golden Knights. But yet I was standing and cheering with the Golden Knights. So because it felt like the thing to do. Again, this is not. This game opened up 4.5. It's 5.5 now. A little bit of money coming in on the Raiders. The Raiders coming off their first defeat on primetime football. Maybe Gruden will have those guys all, pumped up for the game, and they may win by double digits.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Okay.
How about you, Sean?
Yeah, I'm gonna lay the points here and take the Raiders. I think they do rebound. You got Justin Fields on the road here. I don't think the Bears are gonna stop the Raiders' offense too much.
The Bears' defense is better than the Chargers' defense.
I'm not saying it's not, but I think the Raiders score enough points here. They win by at least a touchdown.
Well, you and I are on the opposite side here, Sean. I think the Bears, I'm going to take those 5.5 points, and I think the Bears actually will have a shot late in the game to win the game outright. I don't think the Raiders are as good as their record indicates so far, although I do agree with whoever the coach says is you are what your record says you are. But I feel like the Bears defense will be good enough to keep the game in check. And I feel like the weaknesses of the Raiders being able to kind of struggle to stop the run, mobile quarterbacks. I think Justin Fields has a big day running the ball. This game is close. Bears will have a chance to win it late. They might not, but I feel like 5.5 is too many.
That's another one of those games, guys, where you look, this game opened up 4.5, it's 5.5 now. Obviously, favorite money coming in. But yet, it says here 72% Chicago, 28% Las Vegas. I don't know where these Fugazi numbers come from. Next game, sorry.
It's all right. Cleveland and the Chargers. There's those Chargers. Another game. I think you got two teams that you could find in the NFL playoffs, maybe going for a Super Bowl, like a AFC Championship game, the way both teams are playing so far. Cleveland's quarterback, Baker Mayfield, bad left shoulder, good throwing shoulder. I don't know that makes an impact. I think they just try to find excuses for how poorly he played last week.
This could be a fun game, by the way, guys. This would be a fun game to watch. This is one of my leans, one of my under leans. Unfortunately, the line got away. It was 48.5, and now down to 47. It was 46.5 for a while. Let's see on your screen. I don't know you get the sides up there, but it was for a while down to 46.5. Now it's back up to 47 a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Thank you. Thanks for putting that up there. This I think this will be a lower scoring game. Like I said, I think it will be a lower scoring game here. We'll see what happens. Looks like Cleveland. What was the final score? Was it 14-7? I think. I'm trying to think what last week.
Yeah, the Cleveland Minnesota game was 14-7. Yeah, it was definitely low scoring.
Yeah, it was low scoring. So we'll see what happens. Again, maybe they'll come back to that kind of a clunker, and I kind of lean to the under here.
How about you, Sean?
Yeah, I like the under. I'm actually going to make two plays here. I like the under, and I like the Chargers giving up 2. The good thing with the under is Cleveland has the 2 running backs with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. They've started just running the ball, and their defense is really good too. So I'll take the under 47. I'll take the Chargers because Herbert's playing amazing, and I just think they're going to score. Even with Cleveland's defense, they're just not going to score a ton, but they'll score more than Cleveland.
I don't know, Sean. I think Cleveland is going to cover this game, and actually I think Cleveland has a good shot. I put it at better than 50-50, though I'm not going to do the money line, but I think it's better than 50-50 that Cleveland goes on the road and wins this game because I don't think the Chargers have faced a defense like the Cleveland Browns defense, and they're going to get after Justin Herbert, who can make mistakes when he's under pressure. He did so when they lost their game to the Dallas Cowboys, whose defense is nowhere near as good as Cleveland, and it might be the best defense the Chargers faced all year. So you and I are on the opposite side, Sean. I am taking the Cleveland team. I'm taking the 2 points, and I think that is minus 108.
You guys actually don't bet all these games that you're saying here, do you?
I don't bet a whole lot of money on them, but the ones I say I'm playing, I actually bet.
You must, your wives and girlfriends, but most of them must have really good jobs. Wow. Good for you.
I'm usually like a $30 a game better unless if I really like something.
Hey,
so
still though, $30 across the board. It's really hard to win the NFL, guys. You'll really impress me. I know one of you guys talked about a model earlier or something. Unless you have a really super sophisticated model where you're beating the NFL, even if you're winning 53%, 54%, you're really going to impress me on NFL sides. It's so tough to win. So just bet within your bankroll, and when your bankroll goes lower, make sure you bet less each game, each situation. If it goes higher, more power to you. You can bet more.
Just to give you kind of a little backdrop, I'm not a big bettor at all. And what I basically do, because I do it more for fun. Okay. Because I don't expect to get rich off of it unless somewhere along the line something blows up, and it'll be more on the content side than it will be on the wagering side.
And I hope you guys don't take any insult. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but people know me as a very conservative NFL bettor, and I'm on a show where you guys are saying you're betting every game. So I have to mention that. Don't take it personal. I'm just asking. You answered the question properly. You're betting a couple bucks. I understand.
You were mentioning that we must have wives and girlfriends that make a lot of money. I've been married for 23 years. I've learned not to take anything personal anymore.
Okay, good. Good job.
So that's how that goes. But what I do, so I started with like $45 in my DraftKings account more than a year and a half ago. Haven't put another dollar in. I got about $120 sitting in there.
Good man.
And I bet 5% of my total every single on all my bets. So I'll bet like $6 per game, and that's what I do. And
you're a winning sports bettor, man. That you're telling me you're betting $6 grocery dollars per game, and you just tripled your account. Are you kidding me? Almost tripled the account. That's good.
And I take I'm not stupid either. I take every bonus that they give me, right?
Yes, you have to take advantage of the bonuses, the boost odds, the boost bets. Definitely take advantage of that. I have a portion of my income that comes from bonuses every year.
So that's what I do. And it's like I said, I haven't put another penny in, and I even do like the fantasy football stuff with it from DraftKings. So I have not put in more money at like 2 years. I haven't put $1 in. So I'm happy with what I've done.
You're in Chicago, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, our promotion this week for PointsBet is zero juice in the NFL. I mean, it's no juice. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but over time that juice will eat you up. So they got no juice going right now. You may want to throw some money in a PointsBet account too.
PointsBet account, yeah. But do I have to go down there because Illinois got goofy rules where you have to go to the casino?
They got goofy rules, man. They really do. Not too sure about that particular location where you have to go down to Hawthorne or not. I would think just check. How did you finance DraftKings? Did you have to go in person?
Well, during COVID, they suspended the rules.
Okay.
So at first, when there was books in Illinois, there was two books. There was DraftKings, and then there was FanDuel.
Yep.
So FanDuel, their casino was all the way out in East St. Louis. So it's almost in St. Louis, like 5 hours from Chicago.
Right.
And you had to be on the premise. And then they had Bet Rivers, which is over in Des Plaines, but you can't put money in the Bet Rivers account. I've tried, and they won't take my money. Okay, fine. You don't want my money? I'm not going to give it to you. Amazing. But then during COVID, they suspended the you have to be on the premises rules. So I was able to open up the DraftKings account. And at that time, though, there are only 2 in Illinois. So I haven't had a chance to open up another one yet. But I do want to have other ones, so I have alternative lines as well.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's go. Next game.
Next game is the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys have looked good. Sean has cashed in on them 2 weeks in a row. I think Sean's going to try to make it 3.
No.
Or maybe no. All right.
No. I mean, they probably cover here, but division game, Giants looked a little bit better last week. I've ridden a hot train with Dallas. I don't feel as favorable here, so I'm going to not give my money back on Dallas this week and just watch this game.
I feel like the Giants cover and the Cowboys win.
Very good. That's probably what should happen. I mean, I say that because everyone's so high on Dallas that this line is set exactly right. Don't forget, this is a division rival. Old school teams here playing together. I have no side or total, but if I was to lean to anything, if I can get the hook with the Giants in 7.5, which you might be able to on game day, I lean to them, but I'm not betting the game.
Yeah, I mean, Cowboys are a big public, like you said early on, they're one of the glamour teams. So I would expect that late money to pile in on the Cowboys too. The totals actually come down from like 53 to 52.5. I have the game scoring my model 50 points, so slightly under, but not enough for me to jump in. And then we have San Francisco and Arizona. This is, I think, Sean, the classic overreaction game that you talk about. Everybody watched Arizona just blow out the Rams, and then San Francisco struggle against Seattle, and then that line just really blew up for the Cardinals with the Niners getting 5.5.
I know what you're saying there, but the problem is Trey Lance is going to start this game, and he is not ready. I mean, when he came in last week, the whole tide of that game with San Fran and Seattle changed. Arizona's a machine right now offensively. I think this is a pretty easy cover, and I'll take Arizona giving up 5.5.
I think San Francisco covers, Sean, but I'm not going to play it because of, like you said, the rookie quarterback, he's going to make mistakes.
Yeah, he did not look ready. He's good to come in a few plays right now, maybe a series or two, but he did not look ready. Now, he did get all the practice. I'm sure all the practice this week and should look a little bit better, but Arizona's a machine right now offensively. So any mistakes by Lance is just going to be taken advantage of. And I wish I would have got him earlier in the week while we didn't know Lance was starting.
How about you, Bill?
Well, this is one of the wise guy sides this week against Sean there, but San Fran is definitely the wise guy side of the week out of all these NFL games. It seems like two different syndicate groups, sports betting syndicate groups, have played San Fran, and maybe for exactly the reasons why Sean said that Arizona looks so great. Public all knows that. The squares know it, and the wise guys have said also, and it stuck too. The line's down to 4.5 now. There was actually a couple sixes out there. So this is definitely a wise guy. Out of all the sides this week, if I was to pick a side that I was forced to go with, it might be San Fran. I might be using them in my pools. So I love going against public. It's really going to be a public play probably, I would think, Arizona.
Yeah, that line's actually down to 5 now. It's not even 5.5 anymore. So you're right. The money is definitely flowing in. All right, the last game we're going to cover, the last Sunday game, Sean. This is, I think most people think this is the AFC Championship game. Although Buffalo and Kansas City, Buffalo, they screwed up week 1 against Pittsburgh. They've looked absolutely dominating since. Kansas City seems like they can do what they can do. They can score points, but boy, that defense is a liability. What do you think, Bill? Is this the game that you like the total on?
No, I gave you the game I leaned to the total was the Cleveland game. This game opened 57. It's still 56.5, and there's even a 57 out there. Change the lines, bro. I want to see the. Yeah, there is.
There's a total 56.5, 57.
Yeah. I just want to see what you guys what Bovada had. I would love to get some of those juicy lines at Bovada sometimes. I know they're all fake though. They have 2 sets of lines. Bovada has 2 sets. By the way, I've known Calvin Ayre for 25 years. Before he owned Bovada, it was, what was the name of the book? I don't know. Before Bovada, it was a giant book.
Well, like Bodog or something like that?
Bodog. Mm-hmm. Bodog's right. Before that, he owned some books in Costa Rica called The Big Book, Mayan, Grand Prix Sports. These were all his sports books. Very, very sharp guy, supposedly a billionaire. More power to him. But I just don't like how they have 2 sets of lines, one for the sharps, one for the squares. Book one line. I'm going off on sports books. That's what I always do. So, however, this game, a big rematch of the end of the season last year, and this should actually be a fun one to watch. And I never talk like that. Fun one to watch. Primetime game, Sunday Night Football. I think this will be really a fun game to watch, and I'll probably be rooting for Buffalo. It seems like Kansas City, besides the last week's Eagle game, I don't think they can cover a lot of games this year because they're always overvalued, just like they've been in the past. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm going to make another bet. But again, it's going to be a small one. It's going to be a loaf of bread. And the way inflation is going, it might be half a loaf of bread pretty soon.
Yes.
But I'm going to take Buffalo, and I'm going to take the 3 points because I feel like, not like in many of the other games that I selected today, I feel like Buffalo is maybe a 51% chance to win. And I'm getting points. I think I'm getting the team that's playing better now. That's a more complete team. They're definitely playing better on defense. They can match them play for play on offense. I think I'm getting the better team. I'm getting points. I know it's on the road. I'm taking Buffalo, Sean, as my last Sunday play. How about you?
So Buffalo was my Super Bowl pick. They've done nothing to – week 1 they did not look like that, but they've rebounded. Kansas City's defense is a liability at this point, and – it's worse than it's been in the years before when they were getting to the Super Bowl. With this defense playing the way they are, they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. I like Buffalo here. I think Buffalo goes into Kansas City and wins this game, and I'll take the money line again.
You're going to go money line again.
I
Bill's down there laughing. He's like, man, Sean's got some cojones. But you're going to get plus 127.
Yeah, Kansas City. They couldn't stop the Eagles. They're not going to stop Buffalo.
I can't wait till one of these games land on 3 this week, and I could text someone saying, I told you.
Well, maybe they'll all land on 3, and you can just be like, text.
I'm rooting for him, though. I'm rooting for you, Sean, because you're going to have more money on these sides than me. So good luck to you, my man.
No, you're not rooting for me. Thanks.
I'm rooting for you too, Rich. No, I'm rooting for you too. I'm referring to the 3-point games.
So football is about to, NFL is in its swing, but last time you were on the show with us about horse racing, you mentioned the two older guys than I am that were on that show, but you talked about one of your favorite things is college hoops. That's coming up soon, right?
Yep. College hoops about a month from now. And I look forward to those first 5-6 weeks. Oh man, they've been just money. Even up until the end of December, January, I've had my best seasons ever was in college basketball. Collegiate sports in general, but college basketball, I've had some 60% seasons, and that's just so hard to maintain. 52.5%. Let's we can round it up. 52.5% you need to beat to overcome the bookmakers' juice. To have a season like 58, 59, 60% is just unbelievable, and I've had those kind of seasons. So I look forward to betting some college basketball real soon.
So you said that you usually put your stuff out on Saturday. If folks want to follow you and find out where you can what your final thoughts are for the NFL week, Bill, where are they going to do that?
Well, of course, I'm at Bill Crackman on Twitter, but more importantly, crackwins.com and the Crackwins mobile app is where you can find me and my picks. And it's been a good season. Been since I started, the app's been unbelievable. Up like over 250 units. Have some great things that I get out to the public. I'm hoping Ohtani does get named the MVP. I do have that. I gave the customers that at 30-1. I got 31-1 on that, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard pressed for Ohtani what he did on the mound and what he did at the plate not to be the MVP of the American League. Although I'm not a big fan of teams that don't make the playoffs getting the MVP because I feel like if you're the most valuable player, your team should be playing in the playoffs. But baseball's a little different beast.
Yep, I agree. But I love baseball, playoff baseball. It's on now. Absolutely love it. As soon as we're off, I'm going to go right to it. I know it's kind of boring to people, but I can watch a baseball playoff game more than probably anything. When it's real, when it counts, I love it. So I look forward to that.
And the nice thing about playoff baseball is I feel like at the end of the season, when you have the teams that don't want to play anymore versus the teams that are playing, you get these just crazy bloated lines, and it's really hard to do anything. Now you're getting lines that I think are fair for what the odds are of a team to win.
Yeah, these are for sure. I'm still betting them though, but I absolutely think that earlier in the season you probably get some extra juice on some of these dogs But by the way, this season was unusual, man. The favorites were winning at an all-time clip early in the season. So, but yeah, it should be fun. As you see there, I'm very rarely a fan. There's a Derek Jeter hat there. It's very rare. I mean, I'd rather have the pumpkin that's on there instead of the. I'll keep him on there, but the Derek Jeter hat will be going off there after the playoffs. So,
well, it's hard not to be a Jeter fan, right? He was a class guy in and out of the league, right?
Oh yeah,
for sure. Any final thoughts, Bill, that you want to share with folks who go out and make some bets beyond bet within your
bankroll.
limits?
It's all about bankroll management, guys. I know it's not fun what I do, but I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to put food on the table and feed my family and make money and make money for the future. So real simple. You can't bet outside your bankroll. You could bet 2-3%. If you like a game strong, you can maybe go 5% of your bankroll. Have a gambling bankroll set aside just for sports betting. Don't reach into it for a sandwich, a submarine, or a full dinner, or your wife's needs to go shopping, or a bill. If that's the case, then you have to lower that bankroll, lower your expectations, and lower your bet size until you build it back up.
I agree.
Before we go, do you have any college play tomorrow that you want to give out, or a player prop for Sunday?
No, not really. I gave out a player prop though. I gave out I gave it out earlier in the week, so why not talk about it? Sunday night, that game, that's 57, the Chiefs game. I like to go under on the shortest touchdown, the 1.5 yards. They're telling you that 8 touchdowns is going to be scored, 7 or 8. So chances are that one of them are going to be out at the 1 yard line, or of course, pass interference or something. It's a pretty good prop when the totals are that high.
That's good. That's a good piece of information. I never even thought about that. And as soon as you brought it up, my mind started thinking right away. And I'm like, I think I know where he's going with this. A lot of touchdowns. One of them's got to be close.
Absolutely. I'll have a lot of money on that. I'll have more money on that prop probably than a lot of things that day. So those type of props I like to make. I don't like to delay more than $1.30 either. So make sure
you're going to have more than you had in chips when you were on our last show, if you remember that, when we were talking about buying horses.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a fun show. Even though I I don't bet horses and stuff. I go to Saratoga all the time. I go to Del Mar. I've been to Del Mar this season. It's a fun thing to do, and I know people can lose their head though in that sport, man. There's so much. It's like closet gambling. No one knows you're doing it. You're betting on an app now. You can bet horses, or you're betting the track too. But with that TVG and stuff, they make it so accessible for the public to get hooked on something that's 20, 25, 30% takeout. It's not right. But then again, I say that's not right. Every other commercial's sports betting on TV here. And when I was back in Jersey for the last couple of weeks, it's all it is. They gear it towards housewives of online casino gambling in the daytime. I'm sure it's happening in Chicago. I know it's happening in Pennsylvania. I was in Scranton, Pennsylvania, at my buddy's house. Every other commercial is about the casinos, the online casinos now. Giant form of online gambling. Please, please, please gamble responsibly. Get those casinos out of your mind. Don't even play. I'm not playing no virtual casino in cyberspace.
No way would I do that. No chance in hell would I play. First of all,
although I will say I had more success on blackjack on DraftKings and FanDuel than I did at the table at Atlantic City last weekend.
Well, the reason I won't do that is because that's an algorithm. Somebody wrote that, and it's written for you to win at a certain rate, and that rate is a rate where they take their cut. Like you play 100 hands, you're going to lose $2 over and over and over.
It's mathematically, it's not supposed to happen like that, but you could be right. Who knows, Rich? They could write these type of algorithm things. I'm not aware of that, but I'm not willing to chance it either. I like betting the sports. I know it's regulated by casino gaming and stuff. The only kind of casino game I would play was maybe a live dealer. I walked through the Golden Nugget in Atlantic City last week, and I couldn't believe they had the live dealers for the public can see them. And the live dealers are looking into a camera screen, and they're looking to see each player playing. And it's regulated by the gaming board. The camera they're looking at, they're dealing. It's real cards.
That's the only one I would do as well. If I'm going to do it online, it's going to be live. Yeah, I haven't done it yet either. Yeah,
there may be some opportunities there. I'm not going to say much more here, but if that's live dealer stuff's going on, I may one of these days check into that if I have time. There's no time this time of the year.
Speaking of time, Sean, I think we've used up all of Bill's time today. If folks want to follow us, what do they do?
Facebook, Twitter, Moneyline Madman. You can go to moneylinemadman.com. All the picks are there, free to sign up. And then subscribe to the YouTube channel right here.
Bill, thanks for joining us again. We wholeheartedly appreciate it. And we all hope that Sean doesn't land on 3 on any of these games.
Anytime, guys. Be well, be safe. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks,
all right, pal.